Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health, fitness, mindset and body from where you are right now to being absolutely unstoppable. And today I want to talk to you about starting afresh each day. Now today is being brought to you by the inspiration that I have from watching a TV show, which you're going to judge me, I know. We have this show in Australia. I know it's not just in Australia, but I don't know whether it's over in the US. It's called Married at First Sight. So for those of you that don't know what it is, it's a reality TV show, and they take, it's normally about, I'm going to say 8, 9, 10 couples that, or 20 people that have never met before, and then they have some, I'll say specialists, experts, that go through all their personality traits, all that kind of stuff, and match people up, and they get married. Now, in Australia, they don't legally get married, even though it's called Married at First Sight. It's really just a commitment ceremony, because here in Australia, people need to be together for at least, I think it's 30 or 31 days before they can actually get married. So even though they say they're married, they're not legally married. And so then they go through the experience of being together, getting married on that day, going on a honeymoon. They give them a few tasks that they need to do along the way, etc., etc. And I look at it because I'm a single person, and I look at it and I look at each couple and each scenario and each challenge they have to see, how would I respond to that? Why do I do that? Well, one, it's interesting. Two, it gives me and I an opportunity to practice myself through these scenarios that are playing out on TV to see, okay, so how would I respond to that? How would I feel if that person said that? What would I do in response? One of the things that they often talk about when they're on the couch with the experts, and they're in front of everybody, they do it in front of everybody, and obviously in front of the world, and they're faced with challenges. And you'll know what this is like yourself, where you've been in an intimate relationship and the partner has done something, said something, not done something, not said something, and it's really had an impact on you. And you can carry it around, can't you? You can build up this baggage, build up these stories in your head as to why somebody said something, and then that feels a certain way to you. Like whether you feel it in your tummy, whether you feel it in your heart, you feel it through you in a way that doesn't feel good, as opposed to somebody kissing you or touching you or whatever, and that creates a different sensation inside you. And then over time, you can find that these things just build up and up and up. And they have these, they're called commitment ceremonies, where they're on the couch and they have to make a commitment as to whether they're going to go forward, whether they want to stay or leave the relationship and go forward another week. And if somebody says leave and one says stay, then they both have to stay for another week and try and resolve the issues. And it's very simple to see in some cases where a couple will be really bad one week and they look really toxic, but then in the next week something's happened for them, they've been given another task, they've connected, and they're as good as gold. It's like, wow, that just happened in a turnaround of a week. And often when you hear them sitting there talking about all the different things, he just seems so different, or she's too different, or where we just don't seem to be going anywhere, or they're not, they don't understand where I'm coming from. All those different things that you could come up with in your head. And if one says stay, one says leave, so there was a number like that last night, and you think about how do you move beyond that? And what the experts say is you've got to leave, they don't use these words, but leave that baggage here. And you need to go forward in the next week saying that this is a clean slate. It's a clean slate this week, and from here moving on. You can't keep taking your partner back to that point and saying, well, remember when you did this, or you said this to me, And that can be really hard because people can say things that can be really hurtful and you hang on to it. And then when something else happens down the track, you can go back to that point, can't you? And say, well, you're anchored to that pain point where they've said X. And that can make it really hard for you to move forward. Oh, excuse me. That was a live podcast sneeze. And it gets me thinking about, so what have I done in the past? Where have I attached myself, anchored myself to a particular thought, a feeling, words that I haven't moved beyond? And I'm sure there have been instances where I've done that. All of this, in my thinking, is about how do I become a better person? How do I coach better? How do I do things better? How do I not get stuck on things as a dad, as a partner, as a friend? All of that. And then if we extend that, how many times do we get stuck on other things in areas of our life where we just say, well, I'm just anchored to that point where I'm never going to change? I see it a lot with people in their health and fitness transformation, and they say, well, I've never been able to achieve that before because of this. So, well, okay, you're anchoring yourself to that word never. You're anchoring yourself to something that happened when you were 13 years old and you haven't moved forward from that. Why is that? Why can't you move forward? And sometimes I think you just need to make that commitment to yourself that, yeah, do you know what? That happened yesterday. Yeah, that was said, that hurt, or that action happened, or yes, I did do that and that got me that outcome. But you need to be able to grab the pair of scissors, cut yourself some slack, and say, I'm leaving that there, and just move forward from that. And one of the, I guess, metaphors that I like is, it's like you are out in the open, you're walking around with this backpack full of stuff. And as we go through life, sometimes it gets heavier and heavier. And there are some times in life where you need to carry multiple packs because the other person, whether it's your partner, your kids, whatever, they don't have the strength to be able to carry around their stuff. And you say, give it to me, I'm going to help you through this, but we're doing it together. Sometimes there just needs to be that. But also, clearly, you can't just go around in life and picking up more and more stuff to load in your pack. At some point, you've got to put it down. And sometimes we carry different packs, and some of those packs have some toxic stuff in there. Some stuff that is really weighing us down. It's really, really heavy. And we don't need to carry it around, but we continue to because we say to ourselves, I'm just going to keep carrying this around. But what we need to do is say, I'm dropping that here today, and I'm not going to take that forward tomorrow. And you have to find a way where you can just leave it there and not go back to it. Or if you refer back to it, you maybe just look at it, but you don't pick it up. So you've taken the backpack off. It's full of rocks, heavy stuff. You don't want to pick it up again. Sure, you may walk past and say, oh yeah, there it is. I remember I used to carry that around. But you don't anymore. Because these things hold you back. And yeah, it's really tough. And going back to the show, you listen to some of the really hurtful, painful things that are said and done on the show. And the experts are saying, you need to start from a clean slate this week. And you're putting yourself in their shoes because they make it all dramatic with the music and the words and the editing and everything. And you think, man, I don't know whether I could do that. That feels funny to just say, yeah, just start with a clean slate this week and say, how can I forget those hurtful words? How can you forget those hurtful actions? How can you do that? So, well, if you really care about the person, you can see beyond this particular moment. And one thing I know for sure is that if you're listening to this right now, I know you're not perfect. And I know that you will have said and done things in your life that maybe you're not proud about. I'm not talking about having affairs and that kind of stuff, but maybe you have. but maybe there's just things that you've said that you were said out of angst, out of frustration, out of just being tired, out of just wanting it to stop, whatever it was. I know I certainly have. Doesn't necessarily make me proud of those things, but it does make me realize that I'm human and I'm not perfect. And if I can learn from all of these things, then I become a better person as a result of it. And so I then transpose that. I mentioned about the health and fitness. You transpose that to things in your career. And you think about, say, if you're working in a corporation, that job that you missed out on. And then you go for another one, you missed out on that. And then all of a sudden, you're carrying around this baggage that says you're just not worthy. You're just not good enough because, look, I've applied for a couple of jobs now and I didn't get them. It's because of something that you make up in your mind. So, well, maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's got nothing to do with it at all. But the point is, you can't get to where it is that you want to with the mindset that, well, yeah, I want to keep carrying that baggage around with me. You've got to start with a clean slate. Got to start afresh the next day so that you can believe in yourself. Imagine the sports person. Let's go tennis. I like referring to tennis. I like Roger Federer. Let's just say that Roger Federer, every time he steps on the court, he believes he's going to lose because he goes out to meet, I don't know, say Djokovic. He's number one in the world right now. And there was a time when probably Federer would have won more times than lost. But maybe in this day and age, and the last few years, maybe out of the 12 times they've met last, Federer's won once. Djokovic has won 11 times. If he goes out with the mindset that, well, I'm already defeated before I step onto the court, I'm just collecting a paycheck today, then he's got no chance of winning. But if he focuses on the fact that, well, look, I won once out of those times, it's possible for me again. And then you might be saying, well, yeah, what I want to do, I've never done before, so I don't even have that once. That's fine. Today's a new day. There are new opportunities to be had. You can have your mind in a completely different place today. There are opportunities that you don't even know about today that could occur for you that have a dramatic impact on your life. I think we don't do that enough. We don't have that self-belief that we can achieve absolutely anything that we want. We get held back by whatever's going on in our life, in our mind. We draw on our values, our beliefs, our past experiences, and we package that all up in a very heavy backpack that we continue to carry around with us. One of the things that I've learned to do is to not do this. It doesn't mean that I don't do it from time to time, but I get to a point where I work out that, hang on a second, that's starting to hurt your back. Put it down. Stop carrying it around. One of the challenges I'm going through at the moment is with my kids. Anyone that's got teenage kids will know the challenges that can exist there. So my youngest one, she's just come out of hospital about 10 days ago now, and she's doing really well, but we've got a long road ahead in terms of getting into the right place. And one of the things that the hospital said was about being able to get her to a place where she's an adult and she's managing these things really well. I thought, yeah, it was a really clear moment for me, because it made me think that, some of these things you could say, well, this is going to be for the rest of your life. But there comes a point where your role as a parent shifts. And rather than providing the day-to-day food and care and so forth, My belief has always been that we're raising adults, and so that when they go out away from home and they go out into the world with careers and relationships and doing all the things that they want to achieve, then you hope that you've done your job as a parent to provide them with those skills so that they can do it really well, and so that they can grow and achieve and progress and set goals for themselves and achieve more for themselves than you've been able to achieve for yourself. That's my belief as a parent. And I think even though you continue to provide guidance and support as the kids are in adulthood, that role certainly does shift. And when they said that, it made me realise that, my role is different to now. And then when they become adults, it's going to be different. Because in many respects, they can do whatever it is that they want. Right now, they can't. And you hope you can guide them in a way so that they leapfrog forward in life. But if they decide to do different things, then that's really on them. And you just hope that they've got the skills and everything that they need to be able to leapfrog their life ahead of where you've gotten to. But it was a poignant moment for him. So I thought, in 5 more years, in this case, my youngest is going to be an adult. And even though you'll know from your own situation, when you were 18, you probably knew nothing, but you thought you knew everything, and how much you've grown since that time. But I guess it's not all on you then to be able to do that. And so I'm teaching my kids to be resilient, be problem solvers, and I guess face each day knowing that it's going to be different, and just because things have worked out today, it doesn't mean that's the way they're going to work out tomorrow. And my eldest, who's 15, has got to do some work experience over the next couple of months, has no idea, doesn't like school. I'm trying to teach her that, yes, you're going to school now, but you're going to get to that point where you'll find something that you really love doing. Like, she loves the art and craft. She's so talented, both of them are. And I said, it's just about taking that talent, that passion that you have, and finding a way to turn it into a career that you absolutely love, because she doesn't like so many of the different subjects. I said, that's okay, either did I. I said, the joy comes when you can find how to turn your passion, which she has at her age, which I didn't at my age, in something, and turn it into something that is just so magical, because you have a skill that most people on this planet do not. Now, the fun part becomes, how do you turn that into something? And in the old days, you would say, it's just painting something and trying to sell the painting. No, there's not a lot of money in that for most people. So it's about, how do you use that talent for something else? The biggest challenge comes in your mind, and knowing that, yesterday was yesterday. Let's leave all that there today. Face today. Now, the years go past quickly. You'll be in a place where you decide to go to university, or you do some extra study so that you can become better at your craft, and then using that, whether it's graphic design, whether it's movie stuff, whether it's being an artist for books or whatever. There's so many different possibilities with the artistic skills, which I just don't have. So what I liked about this show was that it reminded me how important it is to not keep walking around with all this stuff that holds us back, because that's all it's doing. And if you think of all of these things that you carry around as anchors, as weights on your back, you can only pick up so much and carry so much. And you're probably carrying around too much right now. So maybe it's time to put some things down, because you can't run the sprint as fast if you are carrying a whole bunch of stuff. You can't run the marathon as efficiently if you're carrying a whole bunch of stuff. All of these things are holding you back from being able to achieve what it is that you want to. You're carrying around stuff in your relationship, so that's holding you back from maybe revealing the true you. Maybe it's you're just not communicating effectively in a relationship. Maybe it's a business relationship. Maybe there's something that your business partner has said or done, and that's now creating this question mark for you. What do you need to do? You need to talk it out. Today's a new day. What can you leave behind? What's holding you back? Because I know that there are some things that hold me back from achieving the things that I've wanted to achieve in the past. And when I've come to the decision to just stop carrying around that, leave it, you can almost have an instantaneous weight lifted. You know, you've heard that saying before. Wow, it just feels like a weight lifted. Well, that's happened for me many times. But from time to time I forget that, hang on a second, you've got to put that down. That's not yours to carry. That's someone else's. And maybe you just need to just wipe the slate clean and start again, because today's a new day. And you've got greatness within you. And maybe some of that greatness is being held back because of the story you tell yourself and the baggage that you continue to carry around. Don't do it. Put it down. I've got your back. I'll watch it for you. You move forward. If you want to connect with me, go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com. Let's opt in for a free consultation, and I'd love to start a conversation with you. Let's move you. See you tomorrow.